Do you own a Bugatti? Do you have $3 million in your 401k? Or how about, do you have 5 vacation homes? Oh, you don't? Then what are you doing with your life? Why are you not working harder? And what are you possibly doing sitting there listening to this YouTube video when you could be making money? Okay, so obviously I'm joking, but it's a good point to bring up, and it's where society is today, where you pick up your phone and you scroll on social media for more than 2 minutes and you're sure enough to find someone calling you a loser, telling you don't got your money up, or something to that nature, right? There's always someone telling you that you're not doing enough. There's always someone telling you that you're behind. There's always someone telling you, yeah, your life sucks because you're not making money. And I wanted to tackle that and have a conversation on it because guess what? It's something that I struggle with too. Comparison is the thief of joy, right? I'm sure every single person listening has heard that phrase before, but when talking about social media, there is not a worse place to go to if you want to feel bad. If you want to feel bad about yourself or you want to feel like you're not enough, there's not a better place for you to go scroll at than YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or wherever it may be. I think that it's so easy to be like, well, this kid's 19 and he's saying that he makes $50 million a year. What am I possibly doing wrong? And it easily can just skew your mind to go down a hill that's not good for you, right? I know it's cliche to say that comparison is the thief of joy, but it's true. And it really lays the groundwork of where this conversation will be going. I think a lot of the times, for me anyway, I don't know if you guys can relate, but I compare myself, and I would say the number one thing I compare myself to other people is how much money I'm making. I don't know if that's normal. I guess you guys can let me know in the comments if that's what you do as well, but I feel like that's the most common thing I take a look at as far as how successful I am. It's how much I have in my bank account, how much I have in my retirement plan, what I'm planning to do in the future, right? That's really how I measure success, and I think it's wrong to think that way, and that's why I'm having this conversation. Money does not equal success, and that's something that I've been learning here for a couple years now, and it's something that I've realized through the process. I've been working for probably like 7-8 years now, and I can tell you I've tried to work my hardest. I've tried to move up the corporate ladder, but definitely there's other things that play a factor when we're going to talk about making money, right? You can be the hardest worker there is, but I think there's a couple things that play into the role of how much money you make, right? You can be born into money, or you can get super lucky. That's definitely a thing. And I think that it's really hard for you to look in the mirror and say, I'm not successful because I didn't make 6 figures this year. I think that's very unfair to yourself. And also, I think it's unfair in general, right? If you're going to compare yourself to being successful and using money as the main way to compare, then I think you're always going to be upset. And again, back to the first point, comparison is the thief of joy. So I kind of want to break this down and take a look at it through how I'm thinking of it, right? So if I want to be super successful, I think there's definitely things you have to sacrifice. For example, you could work 18 hours of the day and only sleep for the next 6, and then wake up, repeat. But if you take a look at your life, let's say you did that for 20 years and you take a look back at your life, I mean, is that a successful life? Like, what are we actually talking about there? I think you're talking about a sad life. I think you're talking about a life where you think money is going to fix all of your problems and being successful is going to make you happy. And I think it's pretty obvious through a lot of people that you see that are rich or not necessarily happy, right? There's a study done, I forget by who, but it basically said, I'm sure it's changed now, but it was a couple of years ago, that said once your income of a single person is over $70,000, like, no additional money that you make correlates with you being happier. And I think that's a bombshell, right? I think that's something that is super interesting because everyone thinks, including myself, that, more money is going to make you happy. But if you look at the evidence, it doesn't mean that. And you can see all the richest people in the world, all the divorces they go through, all the unhappiness they have. It definitely, you can see it throughout the rich people in the world. And following like this line of logic, I'm really having a conversation with you guys to figure out what I think being successful is. Think of your current situation and think of everything that you've overcome, right? I think that is what makes you successful. That's what makes you not behind. Everyone has a different journey in life, and I think it's very hard to dictate where you should be, especially how everyone's journey is different. For me personally, I've broken probably 10 bones in 10 years, right? And there's a lot of limitations that I wasn't able to work at times, and I wasn't able to, grind. I guess you could say, hey, you could be on your phone all day and grind stocks, but that's not really realistic, I feel like. I think being ahead is a mindset, right? It's something that you feel. It's not something that you necessarily can touch, right? So that is the golden question. How do you, or how can you feel ahead? Because you could make $1 million and not feel ahead. You could make $5 and not feel ahead. Feeling ahead is what you've done on a day-to-day basis. It's when I do work, am I putting the max effort into it? When I do have time off, am I forgetting about work? Am I putting effort towards my friends or family or myself? Am I going to the gym? Am I increasing the value of myself? I think that's where you're going to find yourself ahead. I think everyone knows what it takes to be ahead, right? What it takes to be the best version of yourself. It just matters if you're doing that every single day. And again, this isn't something that you can track money-wise. It's something that you can track emotionally inside your head. And everyone knows exactly what they have to do to be ahead in life. I mean, for me to feel like I've accomplished something, or for me to feel ahead, I know if I don't wake up early enough and I just sit in bed and I don't get up on time, I'm definitely going to feel like I'm not ahead in life. So I think if you take a deep dive into your life as well, and you look at it and you say, well, I wanted to go to the gym today, or I wanted to be better emotionally, or I wanted to wake up earlier, and you didn't do that, then you're definitely going to feel like you're not enough, or it's definitely going to take a hit on your confidence. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we know exactly what we need to do. I think if we see someone who has $1 million, it's like, okay, guess what? I don't have rich parents who just gave me a hand-me-down, right? Or you see someone who got really lucky on the stock market, or got really lucky with something else. Internally, it's like, okay, that won't happen to me. It's important to look at the things that you can control. And you can control these things on a day-to-day basis. And you can wake up and say, hey, here are the 5 things that I need to accomplish today. And if I accomplish those things today, I will have a good day. If you are reflective and you do look at your day-to-days and you figure out, hey, I need to be more loving when I come home to my family, or I need to be more focused at work, or hey, I could put a little bit more effort in this subject, right? I think that if you are doing that, then you will become successful and you will feel ahead. And I think it's the people that ignore their intuition and ignore what's going on in their life that end up not feeling ahead. So if you feel behind, right, like me, I think for the most part, I do those things pretty well. I definitely fail more than probably others, but that's probably a good gauge for you to see if you are ahead. Because if you are hitting your goals every day, then that's literally all you can do. And I think sacrificing your life and working 14, 16, 18 hours a day isn't a life necessarily that you would want to live. And I don't think there's much success in that, because really, what are you doing besides making money? And when you die, what's going to happen with that money? And I appreciate you if you stayed to the end. I'm not saying my opinion is right, and I would love to hear what your thoughts are. It's just something that has definitely bugged me and has made me stay awake at night, just thinking about, why am I not as successful as I want to be? Where can I make changes and how to make those changes? And I hope this video helped you think about it more as well. And if you disagree with my logic, which I'm sure I do after I listen to this video, let me know what it is and let me consider it. So appreciate you if you stayed on this long, and talk soon. Bye.